Runeblade Tennis. So good you'll be saying, Bin Set Match. Fresh and Buds now.
Fresh and
All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh and Buds. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh, and you are all my buds. It is episode 239, and today we welcome back to the show Kevin Smurph Murphy. How you doing, my friend? We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'm doing well. There's a lot going on at the moment now. PQ season in full swing. We got callings basically every weekend, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes. You just came off a pretty good weekend. We'll talk about that, and we will also be saying goodbye to a hero that a lot of people loved, a lot of people didn't love, but that's okay. This one feels good to go, right? Like, had a really good life cycle. So, and you know, I'm not going to bury the lead, because if you're watching or listening to this, you probably saw the title of the episode. It is Kayo, Armed and Dangerous, but we will be talking about that soon. But first, let's catch up with Kevin. You got on Blue Sky. You announced that you are perhaps not washed in this game, as you took down a nice little 1K this weekend in Richmond. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be like every SCG con now. Has a 5K on Saturday and a 1K on Sunday, and it's the equivalent of Battle Hardened and PTI, but better prize pools. They don't advertise them super well on the Fab site, so if I recommend going and checking if there's an SCG con happening somewhere near you in the coming months, because these are some of the best events we're going to get outside of callings now. It's only like an hour drive for me. It was easy to day trip both days. If you made the finals of Saturday, the 5K, you got a PTI, not an invite to Vegas, an actual PTI. And then winning Sunday also got you a PTI. So 3 PTIs for the weekend. There was like 56 people at the 5K and like 26 people at the 1K.
Wow.
So honestly, not bad odds of winning one of those events. I think pretty much everyone knew everyone at that event, just because it's the equivalent of your PQ scene. Just like a little bit like teared up from it, but like, I ended up winning Sunday after kind of a mediocre Saturday, but that got me a PTI, which is going to be me qualified for Worlds again. So pretty good weekend.
Yeah, I would say so. Now, you were piloting Prism, I'm assuming. So
yes.
Could you tell us why Saturday didn't go as well as compared to Sunday? Clearly, you went on a run on Sunday, but you know, what stopped you on Saturday?
I really don't like being this person, but I think there was a little bit of variance that kind of didn't go my way on Saturday. The games where it felt like I could make choices, I did well, and then the games where I didn't feel like it mattered what I did, I lost. I went 3-3, and I lost to Dio, Acilio, and Dio. And I don't think I was ever going to win either of those Dio games. I have gone over them so many times looking for outs, and I don't think I could find them. The Acilio game, I think I made 2 small mistakes, but nothing that like was crazy compared to them hitting like they Acilio'd into their last Burn Bear on the turn that I have Red Tenacity coming at them, and they have exactly 2 outs in their deck in like 30 cards left. I'm like, okay, this one wasn't mine to win. I see. Or like the first Dio game, they turn 0, I'm not able to do anything really. Or I just take like a 2-piece of armor with Erudition, and I don't have a Wrath to back it up, but I just take armor. And then they go BIOS update on a twin drive boost twice, and the first card off the top is a Cerebellum processor, which they crank. And that comes into play with BIOS update. And then on that chain link, they Dio in a red boom grenade. And I'm like, okay, So that's how
Yeah.
that's going. I wasn't able to find a way out of that game, even though it ended up being actually pretty close. I think I was only about one card behind, but I wasn't able to figure out where I could have gotten that card back. And then Sunday, I really think I just hit like all good matchups. I didn't have a single game that I sat down for and I was like, all right, this is going to be tough. It's like, no, I know what I'm doing in this matchup. I can play it well. And yeah, so I think I did hit significantly better gem luck on Sunday than I did on Saturday. So,
And that's the variance in this game, right? You know, like not every hero has 100% into every matchup, and
this meta is so insanely wide. Like you're gonna hit so many different things, in any given day can go so wildly differently based on you hit one weird matchup round 2, and that drops you down a bracket, which then is a wider meta, and you're gonna hit another weird matchup. It's a piece of the way the game is kind of going right now, which is just insanely wide metas, because Toulouse was like the most represented deck was 9%.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's nuts. I mean, people are like, you know, I think it will probably hone in for the PT as it usually does, but yeah, it's crazy right now. At my PQ on Saturday, I played 5 rounds, 5 different decks, right?
Yep.
It was Pleiades, Jarl, Kayo, Marlin, and then Verdance. Like, you know, a couple, you know, meta players, but it was crazy. And looking around the room, it felt like there was not more than 2 of each deck represented. So, that's how it goes. Funny enough, you keep saying Dio, and I always pronounce it Dio, but it is -io. So, what you're saying makes more sense, but it still threw me for a loop. And like in my head, I was like, oh, you know, Kevin's just calling it Dio because he died to it. But that's just, that's just not, you know, but, you know, Prism's in an interesting spot. We'll talk about her spot on the Living Legend leaderboard now that, you know, another hero has cleared it.
Yep.
How do you feel about her for the rest of the season? Because we still have a couple weeks of ProQuest. Did you qualify yet for?
I have not gotten a Vegas invite yet.
Gotcha. So you're going to be playing Prism for the next couple weeks. And then there's Memphis as well. And then we jump to Pro Tour Yokohama.
Yes.
How do you feel? Are you feeling scared that she might not make it to Yokohama?
A little bit. It'll depend on how much people adjust now that KO is gone, and more importantly, I think Mandible Claw is gone. That was one of the biggest factors in how Brutes beat Prism. Is Blood Rush is always very numerically efficient for them. And then if we ever just like try and pivot into anything, they have an insane fridge. They get action points off scab skins. Those have just always been the nightmare matchups, is the Brutes with Blood Rush Bellows. And now that Claw is gone, Blood Rush Bellows is a lot less appealing. So you're going to see a lot less of it. The Brutes become a lot more manageable as they slow down and get more mid-rangey. We can play our auras a little bit more effectively into them. I think it's going to be significantly better in that regard. I think there's going to be a larger impact, though, potentially when Verdance leaves. Because that means all the Guardians get a really big step up. And that also means they don't have to tech for Prism. They don't have to tech for Verdance, excuse me. They can tech for Acilio and Prism, and then just kind of numbers value their way around most other stuff, I think. So I think that's the kind of the question mark, where it's like, if Verdance goes, then the meta gets harder. But like, we're in a little bit of a sweet spot right now, where I think because Verdance is still going to be pretty heavily represented, and that's a good matchup for Prism, we're in a decent spot, and I'm not sure how long it's going to last. But I also don't think this is quite the buff that most people think, just because of, again, how wide that meta was.
Yeah.
I didn't play a single Brute between Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. That's impressive.
So, like, it just...
Well...
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think that, you know, Prism's always in that kind of weird spot. Like, it's so strange, her kind of journey through her Living Legend, right? You know, this time around anyway. is like she's never been, like, I would say, dominant, and I think we've had this conversation, you know, before. Like, always good, right? Like always good, consistent,
Yeah.
like, pops up. Like if the gem luck rolls her way, she can just win almost any tournament. And that's just kind of how she's been. It almost feels like, Aurora in a way, where she's just popular and never really won. Like, I mean, like Prism has won some major stuff, obviously, but
but Aurora got Aurora got the majority of her LL points from local or like RTN/PQ level events, and she won like a couple callings here and there, but not anything like she never won a PT. And not that she was around for that many. I think she was literally only around for one, and a Worlds, made the finals of Worlds. So like it's kind of like that where like Prism has just steadily snuck up as this consistently tier 2 deck where you just gain like 100 points or 150 points every PQ and RTN season. Post Luminaris Angel's Glow being printed 2 years ago. But yeah, she's always had weaknesses. She's always had ways that you can really target the deck if you really want to. And that's more true than ever with the changes to the way allies work, where you are now the attacking hero, so all the clashes and stuff trigger. Like, if you really want to target Prism, you can. But it's still also just like, is she a large enough portion of the meta where that's worth it? So
yeah. It's it's like one of those things, like I was talking to you before we started recording, like I played Fatigue Riptide over the weekend. I ran into a Verdance. You just got to hope I don't run into the Verdance, right? That is what it is. I mean, it's the same with like certain decks into Prism. So yeah, it's interesting. Now so I want to ask you two questions about Omens of the Third Age, right? Sure. First, with the confirmation that the next set is Omens of the Third Age, it's almost a sure thing that the set after, coming up in the fall, will be Monarch 3, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be.
Monarch 3 or like Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or something like that. But it's the Dusk Till Dawn sequel, which people call Monarch 3, yeah. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up looking more like an Endgame thing where we see a bunch of regions get involved. But,
yeah. There's certainly that kind of vibe. Hopefully not too much like Endgame, in my opinion. But
sure.
But it's going to be focused on, the storyline that Prism comes from. Yep. Do they take another stab at her, or is she sitting out for a little bit?
I'm not sure, because they really do like the character. And they did leave her on like a bit of a cliffhanger lore-wise, where it's like she does the thing and we still don't really know what is meant by Awakener of Soul, unless that's just directly referring to the Figments becoming actual archangels instead of just the heralds. So I wouldn't be surprised, but also I'm not like personally, I'm not super tied to the character. I'm tied to the playstyle.
Gotcha. So
it's like, if it's Prism 3, I'm not going into it assuming that it's going to feel like Prism 2. Okay.
All right. Have you, like, I know you didn't really play a lot of Prism 1, if I'm not mistaken, or did you?
I played the game for about a month before Prism 1 LL'd. So I didn't get to play it, but I also don't think it's the kind of deck I would really like, having gone back and watched games and tournaments from that time. It's not really my play style. I would be okay playing it, but I wouldn't connect with it the way I do Prism 2.
Sure.
Prism 2 is... And you see the inverse of this, where the Prism 1 players don't really connect with Prism 2. They don't really enjoy playing the deck, because it's just so far from being the same thing.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that I'm going to experience the same thing when Prism 3 inevitably comes out, because Prism 3 is going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
James White loves the character too much. Whether it's Monarch 3 or not, I would be surprised if it wasn't Monarch 3. We're going to see. Yeah. I might play it. I might not. I'm going to try it at least, but we'll see.
Yeah. And the Light Illusionist, I think it could even be a new Light Illusionist, although I don't know if they would do that, but
that would surprise me.
Yeah, because the tie to people loving that character is also there.
Yeah.
So also with Omens coming out, Ziggy is our new illusionist. This is a lightning illusionist, and we don't know a lot about the hero and the card pool. We've seen some stuff. Fracture's the new defensive.
Fracture is like kind of updated Phantasm.
Yeah. Where it just your things will just shrink. Yeah.
Yeah, cards block very efficiently against your normally above rate stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is this something you'd be interested in? Because by the time Omens comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if Prism's gone.
I would be extremely surprised if she wasn't. Something has gone very wrong for the Prism player base if she's still around by then. Ziggy's really interesting. That hero ability that they have is... oh boy. So when I saw Blast to Oblivion in Rosetta, I was like, this is card design that excites me. This is the stuff that I really like. Because I love all the niche micro interactions that go into a deck. It's why I enjoy Prism 2 so much, is because the simple choice of which figment you get when a Herald hits is so layered. And it's like there's so many different ways you can take it based on the matchup, based on the point in the game. It's just like you have so many like micro decisions, even though macro it's a relatively simple deck, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that. And Flicker decks just like sound like a way to do that. And if I can give Blast to Oblivion go again like reliably, which this deck seems decent at doing, I'm gonna be interested, especially if we can do it on rate, because the weapon just being 1 for 2 arcane as an instant seems like a great way to just convert hands, which it's almost the equivalent of Aurora 1 plus Starfall, because it was you make an embodiment and you deal 2 damage with go again without spending your action point.
Yeah.
So if you Ziggy a Sigil of Conductivity, you make an embodiment and you deal 2 damage off a blue. Like, it's the same, like, math. But then there's so many other tricks you can get into with Channel Lightning Valley and then Flash of Brilliance, bouncing all the Illusionist auras, and it's opened up a whole new card pool, but those are the kind of puzzles that I like, and anything that says lightning is probably some version of aggro.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or combo.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Or combo, which I'm down. But like I love those intricate, complex puzzles. That's what I enjoy. So I'm gonna be playing Ziggy some, at least. I don't know if I'll click with the deck like I have with Prism, but like they definitely have my attention. Of the 3 decks, Ziggy is the one that like I'm paying attention to the most.
Yeah, it's illusionist, so just in that nature, like they tend to be strong, right? That's just how they go. But
they have access to some very powerful cards in Metamorph and Phantasmaclasm with Somersault. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like this is like gonna sound crazy, folks, and you can turn off the podcast if you want. But I implore you to keep listening. But Channel Thunderstep is gonna see play in one of these here. I don't know if it's Ziggy, but one of these 3 heroes. And I think it's going to be sick. But we'll see.
There might be some scary stuff you could do with Channel Thunderstep.
The card's really cool. Like, it never saw play because...
Yeah. It's a little inefficient, but the thing is, it's never been paired with, like, the blue Spectra auras.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what if you play Ziggy with a different weapon, like Iris or Reality Refractor, and you just play a Channel Thunderstep and you go Shimmer Shimmer's Haze on a turn and be like, deal with it.
Not bad. It's not bad.
that could be kind of scary.
It almost reminds me of Prism 1 in a way where like they would be willing to take a bunch of damage just to set up, right? And that would be the way you would just set up like a ton of stuff. But that might be a lot of hoops to go through, but we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see. Now,
Yeah, you pair anything, you give any class access to lightning and extra action points where it didn't have them normally, and you're gonna have some weird stuff happening.
yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping healthy, but we will see.
I'm not as worried about Ziggy as I have been other illusionists. I think Ziggy will be very far from Enigma levels of unfun.
Yeah. I think we talked about it on the show last week, but like you have to work for these abilities, right? Like,
yes,
you need to actually do stuff you have to put certain cards in your deck that will help you do them. So it's interesting. Yep. Now let's take a look backwards for a second and do your Compendium of Wraith fresh faves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We got a supplemental set for better or worse. So we got to talk about it. I'm coming around on it, especially after I see more cards from it, see play. But there are no new heroes. But
no.
Which hero you got the coolest stuff, do you think?
I mean, I think the default answer is Teklo got the coolest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Evo beta bases are just kind of it feels like the glue piece that he needed, and it feels smooth when that deck runs. It's not necessarily powerful enough. Still, it doesn't fix how long it takes to turn on and start working. But it's that's one of those things where it's it makes sense. It feels good to run. So I think that's probably the largest overall boost a deck has gotten. Although maybe Huntsman, actually.
Yeah, well, we're seeing Huntsman. I mean, almost won a calling this weekend.
Yeah, was very close to.
Very close.
Should almost was very close to. If that Fiddler's Green is not in that hand on the final turn, that's probably Huntsman winning. But the Graven equipment to kind of pair with Graven Call, turning your 2 silver into 2 health instead of 1 is a huge upgrade. Excessive blood loss is a massive upgrade for Huntsman as well. It might be Huntsman that got the actual biggest upgrade.
I'm inclined to agree. The more I see this deck played, and then we had the benefit of watching Pablo Pintor play it this past weekend, which you're oh, okay, that you can you see the vision here, the everyday flesh and blood player is going to look at that and be oh, okay, here's the respect.
Oh, that's
but
on top of Hunter or Hunted also coming in Super Slam, that in conjunction with the pieces from this set is really pushed Huntsman over the top.
Yeah, that Victor game in the semis was so good. One of the best. Some people hate that, but I love it.
That was just perfect script writing.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. It's because people have been not complaining about Codex as much these days, and then it wins a game, and you're oh yeah, that card's still good.
Yes, it is.
All right. What's your favorite weapon to come out of Compendium of Wraith?
We didn't have a ton of weapons.
Didn't get a ton. We got our lovely Mandible Claw replacement.
Yeah, if you can call it that. That's not the only weapon we got, is it?
It might have been, honestly.
Wait. I'm looking at a lot of equipment.
I could probably tell.
Oh, there's Shield Beater and Savage Claw.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm seeing at the moment?
Perhaps.
Farflight Longbow.
Oh yeah, the UPF
bow. So I think I'm gonna call Grimoire of Felling Song a weapon.
Kind of counts. It's
because
it's doing some numbers.
That was also one of the big wins from this set. That alone. I guess that plus Deep Recesses of Existence was nuts upgrades for Vincent. But Grimoire is the type of card when we saw it, and we've worked on Vincent between Mar and myself a solid chunk. We both looked at that card and we're oh, Yeah, that's the consistency piece that Vincent needed.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think that for me is like the piece that's impressed me the most, because I don't think either of the actual weapons really impressed me so far.
Yeah. I've seen Shield Beater see some play, right? Like I actually,
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible. I think Savage Claw,
Mm.
whatever. It's fine.
It's another one-handed 2-for-3 weapon if you really want to run it.
Yeah, I'm almost. I mean, like this is just me talking out my ass, but maybe Tough Nut just runs Savage Claws because it is always a 2-for-4, but you get two of them, so if you can go wide somehow.
You get two of them, but my issue with Savage Claw is not it's checking if there's a 6 in your pitch zone. It's checking if a 6 was pitched to it.
Oh, true.
Which means Tough Nut ability will
that doesn't
not
even work.
count
Golly.
it. Yeah. Yeah, that's my issue with it. If it was just like if there was a 6 in your pitch zone and it was a 2-for-4, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of see that because it's like becoming Romping Club, but it's one-handed, but Tough Nut can work with it. And like Scabs is maybe better, but it's not. Nah. It's
strange. This is a strange one. What's your favorite equipment from the set? We did get some cool equipment.
There's a lot of equipment. I'm going to say I can't use Grimoire now because I used it for the one. The Teklo headpiece is cool. Banish an Evo, make a Ponder.
That's quite good, yeah.
Let's see. Not the wizard stuff.
I mean, those Graven arms were pretty good.
The Graven arms were really good. Trench of Watery Depths actually surprised me a lot.
Yeah, that one's cool.
It's popped up a little bit and done some nifty things with quick dodge flexors, where you just have a 2 equipment block 7.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. The Mystic arms are have got to become busted at some point. The ones that are just pitch a chi, it's Blade Break 3, and it bounces a blue attack action card.
Yeah.
So it's either route or just Blade Break 3 that draws you a card effectively and turns a chi into block 3. Like, those arms are going to be busted at some point.
Hopefully not too soon.
Yeah. Unflinching Foothold. Battle Worn 1 instant remove dominate.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
That's a great little piece of equipment. I really like that.
It was like it's almost like the card Spurlocked in a sense where in Sage you felt like you couldn't play Azalea because everybody might be playing that.
Yeah.
But nobody played that. Yeah, you could run Pulping, and nobody ended up playing it because nobody was playing Azalea. It was like nice little game theory. Mm-hmm. Now, what was your favorite class and or talent card out of the set?
I kind of, oh gosh, this is gonna get some flack. I kind of want to say Wobble.
Okay, it's very cool.
I'm gonna get some heat for that one, but like, it's probably a touch pushed. It's probably a little too easy for Acilio to meet the condition for it to be played.
Yeah,
effectively. But I think they found a really good spot to put that kind of card in terms of like how you play it. I think there's a little bit to be balanced out on the impact because sometimes it does literally nothing and sometimes it feels like you just lose the game if you can't play around it. If you wobble a Codex, it feels like it just loses the game. If you wobble an Orb Weaver Spinneret, you can just lose the game, which I don't necessarily think is an issue with wobble as much as we have decks that are wholly dependent on resolving somewhere between 3 and 6 cards out of their 60. And like, it's an artifact of, I think, the variance in the game at the moment, where it's like, if you have wobble at the right time, that's just it.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of like the idea of having a counter spell in Flesh and Blood. I don't know that this is the meta to put it in, but I like that they are exploring it. It wouldn't surprise me if it got banned at some point, just because of
how this game works.
just
And
yeah, just because of like the poor interactions, the way the meta is. Like if it gets banned for a bit and then comes back later when it's a healthier spot to put it back in, I'm totally okay with that.
I could see that too.
That to me is a cool card.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real cost to playing those kind of cards in your deck, right? Especially like because you want to do it.
There should be.
Yeah, there should be. Yeah, right. And like you want to do it at a you want to do it where it's going to really disrupt them, right? And if you really want to be disrupted, you're probably more on an aggressive plan. So having an instant in your deck and your hand, and like let's say they just like don't play something you can negate. It's like you're like,
yes,
oh, man, I wish you would have.
Yes, and Acilio gets to like mitigate a lot of that downside himself, just because he can cycle it away with hero ability. But that means there's a weird cost to that we've run into where typically you want to use your ability at the start of turn to cycle something away, and you can fix your hand before you start blocking. But then you make it to the end of the turn, they haven't played something you can wobble, and then you're stuck with it, and now you cycle, and maybe you have a card you can't use, and there's like little pieces where, there's little pieces where it gets awkward, or you cycle into it on your turn off a Acilio ability, and then it's like, okay, well now this is just a dead card that I can't do anything with. So there's some like small downsides here and there, but Acilio gets to manage them far better than any other hero we've ever seen. And I don't know actually if it would see play. It wouldn't see play outside of Acilio just because sigils aren't super common in other heroes yet. But even if Acilio just didn't have his hero ability, I think it wouldn't see play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good answer though. Good answer. You might get flack, but
I'm probably going to get some flack.
Now, what's your favorite generic card from the set? Bonus points if it blocks for 2.
There aren't that many generics in this.
No, not a ton.
Set. It's probably Rockyard Rodeo.
Yeah.
That's
the coolest, right?
That's just a neat card. It would almost be high current currency if it had Go Again, but it also can't. It would need to be balanced slightly differently if it had Go Again.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the design for Rodeo is just neat. It's just a nice little Tough Nuts at what 15 blue 6s now.
Up there, yeah. And it doesn't even matter, but
yeah.
I mean, listen, it's a nice little buff, especially now that we don't have Mandible Claw for Hexagore Levia as well.
Yeah.
So
sure,
we take those. We take those when we can get them. Or if you're playing, oh man, what's the 1-for-6 club that you need to roll a 6 to play?
Rugged Roller,
yeah. So if you you can just play Rugged Roller if you just want to have the 6, right? Like in your deck.
Yeah, if you wanted to just have this be a blue 3-for-6. I've had this discussion with someone else before, and I think the point I come back to is like the reason you care a lot about having the blue 6s in your deck is because you had Mandible Claws and you could discard them. So if you don't have Mandible Claws, does it matter as much if you have the blue 6s now? And
I guess it matters for Rock Tough Nut, probably only.
Yes, Rock Tough Nut very much likes this card.
Yeah, and Levia cares about getting the 6 in. Oh, wait, is this only in the pitch zone? Does it have? No, it's always.
No, it's just yeah, it's just set to that.
Yeah, so
Levia
cares about it.
Levia would be relatively happy to have access to that.
Cool. Now, the last couple times you've been on, I don't think we were asking this question. So this is just your favorite token in the game.
Ooh. Huh.
Surprised we didn't get Spectral Shield just fired off.
No, I think it's Ponder.
It's a great one.
So Ponder is really funny because people like how people value Ponder tokens is so interesting, and it varies wildly how much people value them. But then it also informs your deck building on how many bad ponders are you willing to run in a deck based on how many ponder tokens you create. Because it's like Codex of Frailty decks only want, what, somewhere 3-ish bad ponders if they can help it. Ideally, none, but like that's not many. But like Acilio, I always wanted to play Swell Tidings in Acilio because you have it surge, it makes a ponder, and most of your cards are just playable.
Yeah.
They're not great arsenals, but they're like really valuable. Or like they're still like fine to put in arsenal. Your blues aren't bad to put in arsenal. But then like Prism, I only make 1 ponder token a game, usually. So it's fine that like they're 20% misses in my deck that I just won't arsenal if I draw them off a ponder.
Yeah.
So like it's so interesting because it's also like the difference between ponder and draw a card is huge. Like on hit draw a card and on hit ponder are just like wildly different, and it's so much. It's probably like at least, if I had to put a number on it, it's at least a full point of value difference.
I would say so.
So, I think it's that just because like there's so much depth you can get into on how you value it and how it informs deck building choices and play lines and all that stuff. Because also the difference between having no ponder and 1 ponder is like so much more than 1 ponder and 2 ponders. As soon as you have that second ponder is worth so much less than the first one. It's effectively like an opt 1.
Yeah.
And it's like opt 1 and then ponder if you have a second ponder, which is just like that scaling is like so weird.
I still like 2 ponders. I'm gonna put it out there.
Oh yeah,
I love.
It's
2
fine.
ponders.
It's neat. I've definitely like used a ponder when I already had a card, but I just didn't want to keep that card and I wanted a better one. Like I've definitely done that, but I don't know that there's extra layers of complexity I think that go with ponder that a lot of other tokens don't quite have.
Listen, I also gotta say, you don't have to worry about bad arsenals when you're running Trench. You can just send it away, and it's a resource.
You can turn any card into a red.
Pretty good. Listen, now, I don't know what the class and talent question should be for Penn, to be honest, but, you know, what class and talent would you want to be in Penn? Because it has everything.
Yeah. Is this
in the world of Wraith?
Yeah. So I think my previous answer for this has been Mystic Wizard. Is what I was saying. I said the previous time for this question, and I don't think that's really changed.
It's fair.
I don't know. Yeah, because also then like the way they're like moving Wizard, they're trying to move it away from like big true OTKs to like not like pseudo combos, but like combos where you set up 2 or 3 of them per game, where it's almost more like Lyeth, where you stack an 18 damage turn, but it's all arcane instead of Lyeth just making a cut a long story short, come in for 17 and discard your hand. Like, I'm interested to see where they push Wizard, and I guess in the next set where they're going to push Wizard, because we're getting another main set Wizard release. So
yeah, Brocilio or Swolcilio as they're calling.
Swolio and Brocilio are the two that have like worked, and I think I like Brocilio better.
Yeah, he's just like and I'll quickly ask, has Compendium of Wraith changed your ranking of the greatest set of all time?
I don't think so. Compendium is probably going to feel like Dynasty, where we look back and is we're like, okay, I see where this was fitting in, but no, I still think, what was it for Limited? I said it was Mistveil, and then Constructed I said Uprising, and I think I still stand by that. At least based also when I was playing the game, when I started playing the game. But yeah, I don't think Compendium moves that at all.
Sounds good to me. I also don't think Compendium moved the needle for me as well. But yeah, I do agree. We'll look back and be like, I see what they were cooking. Yeah. It's nice. Now, let's talk about the news.
Mm-hmm.
Living Legend update, folks. Kayo, Armed and Dangerous, is now Kayo Disarmed and Harmless. And it is the first brute to ever Living Legend, if you could believe it.
Yeah.
And it only took them to make everything a 6
Yes.
to do it. So, and golly, he did it with only one arm. Can you believe that? Let's take a look at the Living Legend, like the top decks now that are close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
After this weekend, Verdant's Thorn of the Rose is at 936 points.
Yep.
Gaining 61 points, at least, since this season has started. So I think it's kind of a given that Verdant's is probably leaving soon.
Yes. I think all 61 of those points came from this week of PQs.
Okay.
If our math is correct on that. And if she has one more week like this, she'll be at 997. Which then in the last week she would go. So there's almost a coin flip whether or not she makes it to Memphis, but I would be astounded if she made it out of this PQ season. It would be wild if she didn't LL.
Yeah. It's not like KO leaving changes how that deck functions within the meta. So that one's interesting. Prism, Awakener of Soul, one that you're very familiar with, is at 895.
Yes.
So getting up there, has accumulated 21 points this pen season.
Yep. That is 3 wins, 3 PQ wins, all this week. I think she'll probably get somewhere in the 5-ish win range the next 2 weeks, maybe as high as 8. So what is it? 105 points. It's 7 points per. So if she gets 15 wins between the next 2 weeks, she LLs at the end of PQ season, which is not impossible by any means.
Not impossible, but who knows? It could.
Yeah, we'll see. The meta is pretty wide, and Prism doesn't necessarily benefit from a super wide meta. So it's
also, I feel like she doesn't necessarily have the same player base as a lot of these other heroes. Like, it's a lot of specialists, I feel like.
Yeah. Nobody is picking up Prism right now as a deck to play. The people playing Prism are the people who have played Prism for a large chunk of time over the last 2 years. Maybe they haven't played Prism exclusively, but it's the people who have been. It's the Prism players. Yeah. It's you know who they are at your locals. People know that if I'm showing up, I'm playing Prism. Like, those are the kind of people you're going to see, and I think they're going to do well. And I think it's not. Yeah, I think the data is going to look good, but that's because it's the diehards playing the deck. Because she might only have 2 weeks left, so
she might. And it's notable. Like, a lot of people LL'd themselves out of this season in the Silver Age, in those rounds. So you're just going to see, like, arguably less. I mean, we like 3 less Prism players playing this weekend.
Yeah,
and it's like it's not nothing, but
it's not nothing. But you also, like you said, you have 2 weeks of Sage PQs where some amount of your Prism players probably weren't. They were just playing Briar or KO and picked up a win just to get their invite, and now they're not able to play Prism. Yeah. So I don't know. She might be She might be stuck at 993 at the end of PQ season and make it to Yokohama.
Which would be great for you, I would say. Next, we have Phi, Rising Rebellion at 835. Finally picking up points. 14 points. I think that's a little low for Phi because I feel like Phi got like some really serious buffs out of Compendium of Wraith. People are pretty high
Yeah.
on this deck. And just to kind of like combine it together, Syndra got more points.
Yeah.
And Syndra's at 801.
Yes. Yeah, Syndra is not far off. I think Fi is still going to kind of maintain this rate for the rest of the season. Even though he got Art of Phoenix War, which is a very good card. It's a really good card for Fi to have. There's not... the rest of his turns are still a little lackluster. They're not great. The rest of the Draconic stuff wasn't a huge upgrade for him. Inflame the Firebrand was very good, though. The rare the Draconic Ninja got.
Mm-hmm.
Great card for Fi. Really makes stuff like Oath of Loyalty a lot better with your chain enders like Snatch and Salt the Wound. But I think this is a little low. I think Kayo being gone means the standard for aggro changed a bit. But I think Marionette is still kind of your problem, where they're just like randomly a little disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
If they ever get a decent Black Widow turn off of Mask or something, you have a hard time as Fi. And then your Verdant's matchup isn't like great. It's acceptable, but just if you're going to get Fellinged and Plowed 3 of the 6 turns, it can get difficult. So I still think Syndra's going to...
Oh, not to mention all the excessive blood losses that are going to be running around now.
Yes. Yeah, the Huntsman matchup also doesn't seem stellar. It's probably fine just because like so many of your cards are redundant and you just fat stack 70 cards and say, I'm going to accept that 20 of these are going in Banish, but the other 50 are going at your face, and that'll get there a reasonable amount of the time. But excessive blood loss with the Graven gloves it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But
and you were saying about Syndra. Syndra's still good, right? Like she took a hit, but she's still like a sneaky deck.
Yeah, Mask Momentum and Flick Knives is still a very potent combination for her. It's just there is like kind of weird counterplay for both of them. Actually, both like sneaking out of like Vincent popping up, because they both rely on cards that are in their graveyard, which is your daggers when you flick them and your Phoenix Flame that you would buy back every turn. So like there's like weird things that can happen there where you can get targeted from that. But it's just like your numbers just like aren't quite good enough. It's weird. They're just like a half step behind, it feels like.
And next we got Bravo Showstopper at 769, who has not picked up any points, and I don't remember the last time he did, but we don't need to talk about him. Kasai, arguably probably not even arguably, is the best warrior right now. Picked up 42 points, 730. But
Dawnblade Dory's been doing pretty well.
Dawnblade Dory doing well.
Kind of jump into the next one.
Yeah.
But
I mean, 2 warriors, next.
Yeah. Both
730, 729. Kasai grabbed more points, twice the amount of points as Dorinthia. But, these are consistent decks. Specialists, right? Are playing these decks. I don't know if a lot of people are just picking up Kasai, per se, and not a lot of people are just picking up Dorinthia. But, I think we're getting to the point where these kind of heroes can run some PQs in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are both heroes that are great at the PQ level. Kasai is just so consistent across the board. Kasai was good I'm trying to think of the kind of the matchups. I don't think Huntsman's probably weird. It's pretty like skill based. But like as Kasai, you generally are just kind of good into everything that isn't Basilio. And your Verdant's matchup is probably kind of difficult if you're not like fast enough, but you can make the Kasai builds have been pretty fast since Gravy was a deck anyway. But Kasai is just like such a solid deck. It has just good numbers all around. It's going to do well at the PQ level basically every time. And then Dory is a great kind of pub stomp deck if you run Dawnblade. Like you're kind of skill checking people. And if they fail the skill check, they can just lose the game because suddenly your Dawnblade has 3 counters and they can't stop it ever again. So, like, I'm not surprised to see that picking up some wins when we're in, like, a KO Marionette meta where Marionette players don't necessarily know how to play against Dawnblade Dory. They don't necessarily have that experience. Your Verdance matchup probably isn't terrible, but you're not like happy to see it. But if a Fire or a Syndra sits down across from you, you're fine with that. Your Huntsman matchup is probably weird, and it's going to just kind of depend, I think, on the way their D-Reacts line up, it feels like. Your Acilio matchup is good. This is one of the decks that people can bring to target Acilio, because Acilio just can't stop you from hitting.
Yeah.
Ever. So you're
that snowball goes crazy.
Covered. Yeah. Your Dio matchup is decent. So Dawnblade Dory's not bad right now. We've seen it have some top 16s and top 32s in the last couple callings. So
yeah, it's I mean, arguably you would think Bravo would have been the first WTR hero to LL, but I think at this rate, Dorinthia is probably on her way, and then we're going to get the holodeck, which probably has some fun stuff for her too, with the flurry tokens, etc. And then the last one I wanted to shout out on the Living Legends leaderboard is Dash.io, or Dio. 726, but picked up 220 points.
150 of that off back-to-back calling wins.
Yep.
So then 70 of that off of PQ wins, which I think is 10 because Dio is at 2.0 or 1.5x, excuse me, the 2-year mark. I mean, this is just a really powerful deck when it works. When it does the thing and it pulls boom grenades off the top of the deck, it's a powerful deck. The numbers are crazy. You're playing a 5 intellect hero that gains an action point when you do it, and that's a 1 for 6 gain an action point when you pull a red boom grenade off the top of the deck and it connects. Like, it's going to be good into all the other aggro decks. It's got a solid Prism matchup. It's good in Defy. It's good into Syndra. The Warrior matchups are a little sketchy, especially Kasai. Your Verdance matchup is pretty skill-based. The Verdances aren't like hyper defensive at the moment, but they can fatigue you if you're not careful. Your Marionette matchup is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And some draws on this deck, you're just gonna explode people, and there's nothing they can do. Like that's just the way it works. It's just insanely powerful. It's a deck with an insanely high ceiling. So
yeah, and it's been doing that thing since she came out. You know, at varying levels of power level, right? Lost a big piece in a ban, and then lost and then gained more.
Yeah.
So yeah, if she keeps winning callings, she could be gone by Yokohama.
I mean,
I don't know.
It'll be hard.
Yeah.
If she picks up, let's say 120 points, that'll put her just shy. Let's say she can get to 850 off PQs. I think it's very unlikely, I think, because I think there's only one more calling. Is it only Memphis, or is there... Oh, there's Brisbane.
Okay, so potentially 2. I mean, that'd be hilarious. She goes on...
Dio got to go on a run to do that. But
4 callings back to back. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, that deck is insane, so...
Yeah. There's 3 callings between now and Yokohama.
Oh my god.
Brisbane's this weekend, Memphis next weekend, Shanghai the week before Yokohama.
Oh my god. If somebody goes that weekend, the pro players are not going to be happy. But that's okay.
No.
It'll be, I mean, you got to know, right? Like that's a chance. So
yeah.
Now, that's where we stand. I just want to quick shout out to what happened over the weekend in terms of PQs. Vernon's got the most wins at 13, followed by Arachne Marionette at 11, Dash.io at 10, and then Huntsman at 9. Huntsman's a real deck. Kayo got 8. Goodbye, Kayo. And Acilio got 7, and then you start getting to the 6s, 5s, 3s. I do want to spend some time talking about Kayo before we get to some listener questions, but
sure.
What does Kayo's departure mean? You've hinted at the Mandible Claw thing. I think arguably is the biggest change.
Yes.
Which could just hurt heroes that weren't that great. Like anyway, they needed the Mandible Claws, but we've seen Rhinar do well with Meat Axe and stuff like that. I think things are okay there.
I think it's gonna feel analogous to Assassin losing Bonds of Agony.
Okay.
Because you, and I think Marionette players, and I think most notably Dan Rutkowski has talked about this, Bonds of Agony was too good to not run.
Mm-hmm.
But it required that you build your deck in a certain way so that you could resolve it reliably. You could resolve the effect for it reliably. And this forced the Marionette deck in particular into certain build paths that just like stressed the deck a ton and made it inefficient in other ways. And Slippy was a lot better at using it just because Innate Go Again is also insane and take up the mantle. And all the cost curves were just cleaner with Slippy, and that's why Slippy did so well for that like chunk of time before Bonds of Agony got banned. And I think Bloodrush Bellows is in a similar spot in that it is too good to not run. Bloodrush Bellows plus Mandible Claws is too good to not run for brutes, and it's part of why Tough Nut hasn't done super well, and RKO's fallen off a little bit as the numbers got kind of figured out around RKO and people learned how to play against it, and it kind of got exposed a little bit. And now there's no Bloodrush Bellows, or there's no Claws to go with Bloodrush Bellows, which means Bloodrush Bellows is a much weaker card. If you're going to only get like 1 for 4 value out of it, that's not great, especially if that's like your top end. That's not great. Because you frequently want Bloodrush Bellows to be like 1 for 6, effectively.
Yeah.
You're pushing Chase the Tail numbers at that point, but the way you also put it is going to be important because you're going like 8, 5, 10. And that's not the same as Chase the Tail. That's like it's the way you're pushing the damages, presenting that damage as well. And this feels like an artifact of this is the book they didn't ban, but they knew would rotate eventually when Mandible Claws rotated.
Yeah. It really is, and it's why we haven't seen that. Like, you know, Savage Claw is an obvious point to that. They're like, you're not getting any semblance of a replacement of Mandible Claw, right?
No.
And you know what? Fair play to them. I think it makes sense. It kind of, I always felt it did hinder the brute class in design, and like what we could do as deck builders, but also what they could do as, you know, the people designing and developing these cards, right?
Yep.
So I do like that. It's interesting. You mentioned the bonds. I also like I equate it to the Rootbound Carapace as well, because it felt like you just kind of had to play them in like Verdants and
it was
Florian.
too good not to.
Yeah, and then like it felt like those decks just got way more efficient. Like, funny enough,
They were forced to.
Yeah,
they were forced to be like way more face up and rely a little bit less on their decompose, and like the decks were still fine. They were very playable.
Yeah,
but like you saw CMH Florian come out with Rainbow Rune Rager plus Outed plus Rabble.
Yeah.
When has Florian ever played Rabble?
Never.
Like the Florian list swerved so hard to this other direction to like become like efficient and powerful decks again, when they didn't have that like free button that was like, it's just too good. It was just too good to not do. And I feel like this is going to be kind of analogous to that. And I mean, every brute deck is going to change. We've seen Mansant do a little bit of work on this, and he's posted a bunch of stuff on Hexagore Levia, and Hexagore is an extremely efficient weapon when it can keep going and keep working, and you're not pinging yourself and you're turning off Blood Debt, and it's why like Dread Screamer is such a good card for that deck, and still a very well designed card, I think. And I think we're gonna see them add a little bit more of that quality of Go Again to Brute over the next couple sets. And I don't know if it's gonna be like quite Shadow Realm Horror levels of pushed, because Shadow Realm Horror is a pretty pushed card in my opinion. But I think we'll see Brute get a little bit more Go Again that is not Scabskins related.
Yeah, we already saw it in Pen with aggressive pounce, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, like an awesome design card as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be nice to see how it changes Brute's, you know, like how it will change the meta as well will be interesting. it's kind of weird because it's going to change the meta for like a week or two, and then something else is going to leave. And that's going to change it.
Verdant's leaving is going to be a huge change.
Yeah. We're all going to be like, wait, Kayo? We used to be able to play that, and
yeah.
So, any fond memories of Kayo? And did you prepare a eulogy?
No, I have not prepared a eulogy for Kayo. I will say, I think Kayo is probably one of their best pieces of design they've ever done, which is the very simply your cards have +1 while they're not on the combat chain.
It was cool.
Because it like fixed all the consistency issues that like a Bloodrush Bellows Rhinar had. It was a way to give you all the blue 6s you want. You could run whatever cards you want, basically, and it just like made the deck that people wanted work. Because then they just reprint Wild Ride and Bearfangs and Heavy Hitters as just like staple cards because they're just like really good rates. And it's like that little piece of text like completely changed the way Brute as a class kind of worked and was viewed. And like that's continued a little bit more even into Tough Nut, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And also RKO, where they're both just significantly more consistent in the way things work. But at the same time, I don't know if RKO is like really a true Brute in all honesty, but like Tough Nut also, you get to like mitigate a lot of your variants if you really want to. Like there's so many ways to play around it. And I really do like that piece of design.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that always stood out to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he had like a weird run, right? Like during Heavy Hitters meta, we were like, oh wow, KO's going to just speed run. And then the Armory deck came out. We saw Savage Sash. And we're like, oh, it's over.
He's gone.
And then MST comes out, and you're like, oh, Screeching Halt. You know, you thought you knew what aggro was. you thought, right? And then, you know, we flash forward like what, a year and a half later, and over a year and a half, because I think 2 years, like Omens would be 2 years since MST came out.
Since MS, yes.
Yeah. So we flash forward those 2 years, like almost 2 years, and then KO leaves. So interesting. Yep. I prepared a eulogy. KO, you had one arm. That was kind of cool. That was kind of funny. And also, what's up with, this is like not even a eulogy. It's more like and also what's up with RKO, and how come it says the text is different, that you can perhaps get a new arm? What's going on here, LSS? Mm-hmm. Tell us. We want to know. And Savage Claw, what is going on there? But a 2-for-4 is good. I like 2-for-4. 2-for-4 is good.
Yeah.
But do I need 2 of them? I don't think so. I guess RKO wants 2 of them, but RKO doesn't play a lot of 6s. What is going on, LSS?
Well, RKO can't run 2 of them yet.
Yeah, yet.
Yeah.
He's going to get a wrench. That's how they fix them all.
Construct second arm.
Construct second arm. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. That would be kind of cool. Bright Lights 2 coming soon. Now, who's the next Brute to go? It's got to be Rhinar, right? Or Levia.
I'd almost think it's more likely to be Levia.
Mm-hmm.
Levia just does, like, when Levia works, the numbers engine is like insane. Levia's gotten consistent support over a few sets over the last few years, and the D-React Levia got in Compendium is crazy. And then if we're getting Monarch 3, it's going to have Shadow Brute stuff in some form, and that is more likely to push Levia over the edge than the others, I think. So, as well as, where is Levia at?
So Rhinar has a 148 point lead on Levia. So
okay.
And Levia's at, I think, exactly 200. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rhinar's at 348. So they got a ways to go.
Yeah.
I think we'll have them for a while.
Yeah, probably.
Although if we hit
Yeah.
like a Guardian meta, like just
Rhinar
you know,
could go crazy.
Rhinar, Tough Nut. Tough
Yeah,
Nut still
well,
has no.
Tough Nut's really good into Huntsman, right?
Pretty decent. Like you can never get hunted or hunted. I mean, like you technically can, but like you just like they'd have to guess what card.
Yeah. But like Rock is just so efficient into
Rock's
Huntsman.
so good. Even if you're on Club Nut, I think it's still you're just playing.
I mean,
a better
it might be
game.
better because you get 3 extra cards in your deck effectively because they can't. Because if you have no cards in your deck, you can't swing Rock ever.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. We have some listener questions though, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And these come from the Buds Discord, which Kevin just joined today. Welcome to the Buds Discord. First comes from the Orc Knight, aka Jesse Harper. And of course, a lot of these are going to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek because they know you. They know you so well. The year is 2030. LSS finally prints a new Spectra Aura. What does it say? Now, for those who don't know, Jesse, I hope I'm not misquoting him, but he thinks Spectra's a good mechanic.
He does. That is his opinion is that Spectra is
and
a healthy and balanced mechanic. All right, Spectra in 2030. What would it look like? So we're probably on Prism 5 by then. And then I'm going to guess it's a light yellow illusionist 4-cost Spectra then. I'm going to... Ooh, this would be neat. What if it just gave Prism 2's hero text?
Oh.
To your hero.
That'd be neat.
As a way to work the Figments and Angels back into the other illusionists. Because that's something that, like, Attendant gets printed and it's like, yes, you can technically now awaken Figments as OG Prism after you play the Figment from your hand, paying 4 to resolve it, and then find the Attendant and awaken it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a way to put the hero text in,
that'd be cool.
That might be more interesting.
It would be interesting. It'd be a lot to. I mean, like,
it's a
people
lot.
Would just have to like kill it. They would have to attack it.
Yeah,
but in a way, it becomes like another. What is that one?
That's all the Spectra Auras, though.
Yeah.
You have to hit Genesis. You have to hit Merciful. You have to hit Ode. Like,
listen, no, I don't. I ignore them. I pretend they don't exist. I only hit the one that makes me. I'm forgetting the name of it right now.
Arclight Sentinel.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to forget it forever. Anyway. Thanks for the question, Jesse. William Table and Legs Knuckles, you might know him, asked, are you allowed on pods again because you won? Don't ask that, he said. I did ask that. And then he proceeds to ask, is Library bad? Is Soulforge Gauntlet good?
So, a little reference for this case. I did not run Library this weekend. I cut it from the 80.
Okay.
And it has been in the deck for at least a year straight at this point. I think this is one of the few metas where you didn't need Library, where it wasn't worth the slot, because you didn't need it for Verdance, which is the most common matchup you would play it into. And then you would play it against about 10% total of the rest of the meta. So it's not really worth it. I don't think Library is bad. I think you just have to know when to run it, what matchups it's going to be worth it for. Because I think one of the biggest matchups where it was good was the new matchup. When you played Prism in the new, the game was going to go like 20 turns. You had forever to find Library and get it out and get value out of it. I think this was a very particular meta that I was looking at where it wasn't correct to run it. And I stand by that choice. And I could be playing Library again next weekend because of the way the meta shifts. I could. I think it's much more likely to come back in after Verdance rotates or hits LL and all the Guardians come back into play. Then Library looks a lot more appealing
Mm-hmm.
because those are matchups where I really do think library is good in those matchups. But I think this was a weekend where it actually wasn't correct. And on the flip side, Soulforge Gauntlets, a lot of people freaked out when they saw that card because it's just on demand. A card goes to Soul, which turns on Vestige, which lets you do all of your insane stuff.
Mm.
The problem was, I think the play patterns didn't quite work. A lot of them, you still needed to have a light blue in your hand, which you only had 10 of, and it had to be on the exact turn that you wanted to go, and you had to have Soulforge Gauntlets out. You could never block with them against Verdance, because you still needed your Arcane Barrier 1. It meant you cut Calming Gesture into Flick Knives matchups, which is also really difficult to do. I have a lot of issues with the card. And I think there's one class in particular that it's really good into, and that's the Warriors. And I think that's kind of it. It's like fine into the other matchups, into some other matchups, but it's not like, it's meh.
Okay.
It's nice that we have it. It can let us condense a bunch of deck space if we really want to, and we can run one arm slot into everything because it has the Arcane Barrier 1 on it. But like, I think it's really not necessary to just do that, and I really like Dreamweaver still as a way to kind of guarantee that a Figment is going to get into play, and I can continue with like a threat against like the Guardian type matchups. So, yeah.
There you have it, William. Basically, Kevin brings library in when he wants his deck to be more expensive, and takes it out when he wants it to be cheaper.
Yeah.
How much is library these days? Don't answer. We don't know.
It's
probably not as bad. Junior comes in and says, and then asks, some people are saying that LSS hates illusionists because they keep getting nerfs and that they'll never be playable again. Considering you won recently, how did you cheat and why are those people right?
So I'm going to guess they're referring to the consistent printing of hate cards that end up hitting Prism. And that's stuff like Midas Touch that seems like it's designed for gravy, but ends up hitting Prism harder.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of Aura Hate in Compendium. There's a card that just blows up Library and has Go Again and makes them 2 gold as they do it. It's funny because, Clash of Bravado got printed in Mastery Pack Guardian, which is a very good card into Prism, especially now that they changed the rules around allies when they're attacking. I don't think LSS hates Illusionist. I think they wanted to give other decks some tools to run against Illusionist if they decided to make that choice, and I think they've all been relatively balanced. Sunday, I did not hit people who had those tools.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Yeah. I don't know. There was a couple Midas Touches running around, but like the Huntsman I played had literally 0 tech for Prism. And yeah, it's the class is fine. They're also going to be taking the class a different direction with Ziggy, where it's a lot less board based in terms of like
attacking.
Ziggy is going to have a lot less permanents that will stay there forever,
mm-hmm.
if not interacted with, and that's always been kind of the difference between different like. There's always a distinction in board state decks of permanents that can get value turn over turn unless your opponent does something about it, and permanents that just go away. And Channel Lightning Valley will just go away.
Mm-hmm.
And the weapon is not infinite. And you have to play all these other cards that look like they're just attack actions in Ziggy. So like they're already shifting Illusionist away a little bit from that kind of permanent board state into a more temporary board state. So I don't think LSS hates Illusionists, and I think they're actually doing a decent job in kind of bringing the scales into balance a little bit. So
it's fair. It's fair. Sigma asks, we kind of like have been talking about this first one, but like how excited and how powerful can Ziggy be? Have you already brewed some plays? I guess that's like probably the main question here. And then also, do you feel like LSS can make it a healthy design by mixing the 3 classes that we're getting in Omens, Illusionist, Runeblade, and Wizard?
Um, so I'm very excited to see the rest of Ziggy's card pool. I haven't done a ton of brewing in terms of like deck building, but like I always kind of do this thing when a new hero comes out and I'm interested. I always just go through like just compile a list of cards that I want to keep my eye on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just putting cards on the list like Metamorph, Phantasmaclasm, Somersault, CLV, Essence of Ancestry, Flash of Brilliance, just like all the cards where it's like, okay, some of these words match up and I can see some play lines that are interesting. Like Metamorph, Somersault it, and Flicker and Aura already like cost curves off of blue. And like sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done I haven't done any real brewing yet. I don't like to do that until we have more of the card pool. Although having the weapon is already a great piece of that puzzle. That's always like the biggest thing for me is like until I see the weapon for a hero, I don't really know what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think RKO is actually a weird example of where that didn't matter because you just played Claw and your weapon was Mocking Blow and Swing Big. Like that was it. But like until we saw the weapon for Aurora, or original Aurora, I didn't quite like see where everything would land on that deck. But seeing the weapon for Ziggy, I can see the puzzle pieces. I just need to know exactly how those pieces are shaped before I like want to dive in and spend time. Can LSS make it a healthy design by mixing Illusionist, Runeblade, and Wizard all in one? All in one set?
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can make a healthy draft set around that, the way they're doing Illusionist, yes. Because this is not an Enigma type Illusionist that you're putting into Mistveil. Where you have that infinite, the infinite value engine unless your opponent can stop it. I don't see that. It seems relatively balanced still. 2 Arcane is going to be good, but it's not going to be too much for that format where you don't have AB. I'm excited to see it, and I'm going to give them a lot of leeway on this one because Rosetta was still very good, and that was an all Arcane set, quote unquote. But I think we're going to see a lot of lightning attack action basis for these kind of heroes, and I think Brocilio is going to have like the most Arcane, which isn't surprising. It's the Wizard. But Ziggy doesn't seem like the standard Illusionist. It's going to be much closer to, I think, Prism Herald Beatdown than OG Prism Aura spam. So I'm going to give them some runway on this one.
I'm excited for it. I think I loved Rosetta draft. I think I'm going to love this as well.
Yeah.
Capolo asks, what secret talent is Prism, actually?
I can't say Mystic. That doesn't make sense. I think it would, despite the yellow base for everything, I would actually say it's Draconic.
Whoa.
Because okay. I mean, I guess it would actually probably be revered. But I think it's secretly Draconic because she's an aggro deck. This Prism, sorry.
Yeah.
Prism 2 is an aggro deck. I would say Prism 1 was Mystic because Aura Spam and lines up much better with Enigma, I think. This Prism, I think, is an aggro deck and is actually much closer to Draconic. Although Revered also works really well when you start at 32.
Yeah.
So there'd probably be some flavor in there, but I don't know. This Prism deck has always, to me, been an aggro deck that sides into a combo package. And that sounds very Draconic to me.
Sounds Shadow to me because you're sending 6s and 7s. And
the other side of that is Shadow because of just how much she's hated. So, I mean, I could see that as a valid answer.
And then finally, Bingus Bongus, aka Ben, comes in with a spicy one. What insecurity fuels your desire to play Illusionist? You don't have to answer this one.
So the thing that really draws me to the class is my desire to like solve complex puzzles, which I guess if that's going to be an insecurity, it's my desire to feel smart and like
Okay.
I'm accomplishing something if we're going to get kind of serious about it. But if we're not, it's like, no, I'm just playing the deck I want to play. I do this in every game. I play the complex thing because I enjoy doing the complex thing. I didn't go to grad school because it was going to be easy. Like, this is what I do.
Yeah. Well, on that note, this has been another banger. Thank you for coming on, my friend.
Of course, man.
Can you please plug anything you'd like to plug?
First and foremost, over on the Table Pit every Thursday night, I believe the day that this will air later this day.
Yep.
I'll be doing Pit Against with William Table and Legs Knuckles. A live call-in show. You can give your hot takes, and instead of having an argument on Twitter or Blue Sky with 240 characters at a time, we get to sit down for half an hour and actually discuss through something. Something I very much enjoy doing. I'm on Blue Sky and Twitter and YouTube at SmurphFab, SMURPHFAB. My YouTube is just entirely Prism stuff. If you're interested in, I can't recommend you pick up the deck right now. But if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Prism, then that's up there. And I also have a written, I've got a whole video series up over there on YouTube, and then I have a written version that is up on Metafy. But anything that is in that Metafy guide currently is in a video somewhere for free on YouTube. So that's all up there. That's where you can find me. You can find me on Discord. My username is Sir Smurfington, Smurf with a PH again. I'll be at Memphis, and I'll be at Yokohama. I'll be at US Nats. I'll be at Vegas, and I will be playing Worlds since I just got a PTI. So that's where you can find me.
What? Love to see it. I can't recommend Pit Against enough. I went on there and famously once said we should be playing more yellow Sync Belows and Fate for Scenes. And guess what? I saw some fangs running those yellow Sync Belows, and
oh yeah,
it was Maximilian Klein definitely was listening, and but you can all continue to find me on Blue Sky at freshbudspod. Check out the Buds Discord; it's a good place to hang out. The fresh juice. We played Slay the Spire 2 this week, obviously, and it's so good, folks. If you haven't played Slay the Spire 1, just pick up Slay the Spire 2. You're just playing the better version of the first one. Check out Fresh Juice. Patreon, check that out as well. What else is there? YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you listen on Spotify, give us the old rate up or whatever. I don't know what you can do there. But finally, food. You know it. I know it. We love it. What's some food you're looking forward to, craving, shouting out?
I mean, just anything in Japan. I'm excited to go back. I didn't get to do a ton of sightseeing when I was there for Worlds in Osaka, but I actually put in extra time so I could stay for a little bit extra after Pro Tour Yokohama. So I'm just gonna try and eat as much food as I can that last day, and I'm excited for that. So
sounds good.
That's what's on my mind.
Sounds good to me.
Also, please, 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 can Worlds be in Italy? Please.
Ooh.
Oh my God. I will book a full extra week.
It's definitely Europe this year, huh?
It
Most
should
likely
be Europe if they follow the trend that they've been on.
It
should be Europe.
Oh wait, it should be Europe. I heard a rumor it was going to be Oceania.
I would be surprised.
Yeah, that's a long flight.
Because it was Barcelona, Osaka, Philly.
Oh yeah. Okay, no.
EU is the furthest back, and also we had Yokohama this year. So
true. Yeah, EU. It's going to be in Luxembourg. That's a country. A very small. I don't know. That'd be
nifty.
Yeah. Their nationals is 2 people, and they just play.
I think it's 8. I think they get 8.
They get a full 8. Speaking of 8, I don't have time for Charmer this week. That doesn't make sense. Goodbye.